Now we're talking. Oh yeah, baby. I'm all ready now. See, this is how you're gonna set up your garage with your doors and stuff. And see, I put the craft paper down there. You can get a roll at the Home Depot. And this is what it comes in, like that. It's called Roisin paper, but I like using the reddish pink paper. They also have some building paper, and it tears more easily than this than the resin paper, like this. Okay, I call it craft paper, K-R-A-F-T. Okay, so I swept this whole thing out because the masking tape's not gonna stick to the floor. Now, if I wasn't painting the garage, I would have just tagged a couple little pieces of masking tape here and there, and that's it. But you know, I thought, because I'm going to have these out here for a while and stuff, I don't want to be tripping over the edge of this craft paper. When you unroll the craft paper, it always has a tendency to want to roll up at the ends. I just cut the craft paper and I'll measure it and cut it, and then I flip it upside down, you know, on the other side, and then it flops straight on down. Okay, but because I'm going to be painting this garage sooner or later, before I get done with this entire project, I'm just going to leave this craft paper down, and that's why I put masking tape down so I don't rip it or anything. And I've got it pushed right up against the back edge, and away I go. And then I can take little pieces of craft paper after I get done painting inside the condo. I'll have, you know, it's a 6 or 7 foot long piece, and I can just drape it there. I don't have to masking tape it down and push it over there and slide it along there, and then I just kind of slide it. I just set it there and slide it with my foot, you know, exactly where I need it. No need to have drop cloths and plastic and all that kind of junk. I just use a craft paper. And here's a good thing with craft paper too: when you use it as a drop, when the paint drips on it, and I'm going to be real careful, I'm not going to hardly get any paint on this craft paper, but when it drips, I can see exactly where it is. I'm working off of the outside edge, you know, when I do the roller, and then if I get something, I'll see exactly where it is, so I don't step on it and traipse it all over the place. With drop cloths, you can't do that because you're not going to see where it drips. Or with plastic, you start tripping over the plastic and stuff. I use this craft paper for everything. I'm not going to use any plastic. Well, I might use some plastic up the stairs, you know, boom, 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 boom. Over here, when I get ready to paint those walls and the ceiling and stuff, and I'll get some cheap throwaway plastic at the Home Depot. But everywhere else, I'm going to use craft paper, and I don't have to use that much craft paper. When I get ready to paint in here, I'm getting off topic because I'm supposed to be showing you how to paint those doors, right? I just take a piece of craft paper and put it right up against the baseboard, and then when I'm painting the ceiling, I can just have a piece here. I don't even have to cut it the full length. I can have a 10-foot long piece. I can start in that corner, and I can go, and then when I get up over in here, I just take my foot and slide the craft paper over. It's 3 foot out. It'll be 3 feet out, and I can look and see, and I can step over the top of the carpet. And, you know, I could do that, or I could take 2 pieces of craft paper, let's say, and put masking tape down the middle. Now I've got a 6 foot long piece, 6 foot wide, 5.5 foot wide, after I put the masking tape on and overlap it, you know, 4 or 5 inches. And then I can use that kind of as my drop and just slide it along. Then I've got an area 5.5 feet, 6 feet, almost 6 feet wide. And so I just work over that as I go. Okay, and the same thing with the walls. I can just take a 3 foot long piece, 3 foot wide, 8 foot long piece, 10 foot long, whatever. And then as I'm doing the wall, I'm working off of the craft paper. I'm just stepping on the carpet. I've got my paint bucket on the craft paper, and I've got my roller, and I'm stepping back. It works out great. You know, I'll show you. Later, you know, when I get ready to paint walls and ceilings and stuff, craft paper, that's all I'm using. I'm not using any drop cloths and You know, who wants to buy, you know, 4 or 5 drop cloths and put them all down in plastic and all that kind of stuff and have it draped everywhere? And then what are you going to do with the drop cloths when you get all done? You're going to be using those anytime soon. You're not a professional painter, neither am I, right? So I don't think I've ever bought a drop cloth in my entire life getting ready to paint inside condos, inside houses with pre-finished floors and stuff. Obviously, if you got a concrete floor or something, or if all your areas are carpet, let's say, and if you're pulling up the carpet to replace it, pull it up, and then you don't need any drops there. You just need drops where your tile floors are, where your wood floors are. And then when I get ready to paint up in here, I'll drape some craft paper there and fold it down the edges and stuff so it doesn't get all over the place. It just works out. It really is a good thing to use craft paper. And the paint I got, when I went over to the Home Depot, I said, I want something as bright white as you got, the semi-gloss, and this is semi-gloss latex enamel, and this is the paint I'm using from Behr Premium Interior Semi-Gloss Enamel, and it's ultra pure white, durable, long-lasting finish, low odor. Nice. And see, I got two gallons of that, and I might need a 3rd gallon, and I could have gotten 3 gallons at the store. And see, if they don't mix up, if they don't pre-mix it with whatever color you need, and it comes right off the shelf, make sure you have them shake it before you leave the store, and they'll shake that, and no problem. And then I could have gotten 3 single gallons, and if I only used 2 single gallons, I could take the 3rd one back. You know what I mean? I could do that. And then when you're at the when you're at the Home Depot, just ask them for some paint sticks. I got a couple brand new paint sticks that he gave me, and then he gave me one of these little paint can openers. Okay, for free. You can buy them for about $1. They sell them right there for $1. But if you just ask nicely, hey, can I get one of those paint can openers? He'll give it to you for free. Here's all my different garb that I use for painting and stuff, and I'm all set on knowing exactly what I want to do here for the paint. And so I just basically wanted to show you how I set things up for this. Remember what my game plan was? The first thing I'm going to do once I get the paint out, I'm going to go around, and anything that is raw wood that I see on where I sanded the edges, I'm going to hit the raw wood edge pieces first. And it's not going to take me that long. Any little thing like that, I might swish a little paint on there. And then I'm going to do all of those edges first. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, once I do that, then I'm going to come back. I just do one thing at a time. That way that can be drying and stuff. Okay. And then I'll hit this with my paintbrush. Okay, all those with my paintbrush. When I get all done with that, then I'm going to flip these all around, and that's why I'm going to start on these edges first. I'm not going to paint the entire 1.5 inch and 3/8 door end. Okay, I'm just going to paint the edge anywhere where there's raw wood, where I've sanded, where I've made it nice and smooth and stuff. See like right in here. I'm just going to hit that. That's all. Then that can be drying. See, because as soon as I get done with all these other pieces here with the paintbrush, I'm going to do the rest of this with a paint roller, but I'm not going to get the roller out. After I do this, just follow me through here, okay? Then I'm going to flip all the doors around, and then I'm going to hit the other edge. I'm going to look and see if I have any little bits that I need with the paintbrush first. Then I'm going to hit all of these on the back side once I flip the doors around. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Okay. Once I get all that done, then I'm going to flip the doors around again. Because the paint's going to still be wet on here, right? I'm going to go on the other side, flip them around again. Then I'm going to get my roller out. I'm going to get my mini roller out, and I end up using a 4-inch mini roller, and I put it on a broom handle. There's my extension pole. Boom. 4-inch, and I'm using a 1/4-inch nap roller when I get into the mini roller because it's smooth. It's smooth here, and I don't care what you do, okay? Here's something to think about. When you get your paintbrush out, okay, I don't care what you do, when you paint doors, there's no way you're gonna get this door perfect with just a paintbrush, okay? And even though it's smooth, it doesn't have the rough little ridges, the fake wood grain on there. And I want to get these as good as I can, but I'm gonna use a roller. No matter what kind of roller you use, you're gonna throw a little bit of a textured, a nap on there. But I'm using 1/4-inch. I would not use 3/8 or 1/2 inch or 3/4 or anything like that. That throws the nap of the paint more. Okay, I could have used a sponge roller. I don't like using the sponge rollers because it throws air bubbles on your finish, and if those air bubbles don't pop or something, now you're not going to like your finish, especially when you're going over smooth doors. Okay, and so that's why I'm going to use the mini roller, and I could have used a 6-inch, but you can see lots of these edges are like 4 inches anyways. This is a little bit more, but that's okay. This one's even more, but I do it with the mini roller and it works out really good. A 4-inch, okay? And like I say, you could use a 6-inch if you don't want to use a 4-inch. And then when I get ready to paint the edges, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this little edge. You know, I'll show you that later. You know, first things first, I'm getting the paint out and I'm going to start painting with the paintbrush. I do everything with the paintbrush first, you know, that way. And then once everything dries, now when I go over with the paint roller, the roller is throwing the nap from here to there, from that edge to that edge. You see what I'm saying? And so when you get all done with this, it's going to look good. It's going to look all the same. There's no way you're going to get it perfectly smooth. The only way you're going to get it perfectly smooth without any nap texture on here, and the nap, mind you, is really super small. But if you wanted it perfectly smooth, you'd have to get a spray rig. You'd have to get a hire painter and spray these doors to make them smooth. Okay, and that's why when I want to do the paintbrush first, all the different areas where I think I need to use the paintbrush, right? Because when I do the roller, that's going to put the nap finish on everything. I don't want to do a roller somewhere and then, oh, I have to touch something up with the paintbrush right over here or right there. When you do that, you flatten the paint down because your paintbrush bristles are smooth. It's not textured. And so when these doors dry, you're going to see, oh yeah, he tried to touch up right there and right there with the paintbrush. Oh, he got a little drip. He got a drip somewhere, and then he tried to clean up the drip with the paintbrush. You can't do that. If I ended up getting a drip on here, I would have to flatten it out with the paintbrush, okay? If I saw one, then I would have to do this whole edge again. This whole edge from top to bottom with the mini roller. That way I don't see that smooth paint touch up with the paintbrush. You see what I'm saying? Okay, painting 101. Hey, if you've never painted, hopefully you're learning lots of things with these different videos I'm doing. All right, time to get busy. Oh, here's something else too. When I'm painting these, I'm just going to use my little paint tray. That's all. That's all I'm using. And I got plastic inserts, throwaway plastic inserts, and I'll pick one that will work. I could use a brand new one, or I could use one that I already have paint in from before, like that one. That one would work fine, no problem. Okay, then I keep this all clean. This paint tray, I don't know, it's 4 or 5 years old. Hardly have any paint on it, do I? Just on the edges. where it might have dribbled or something. And so I always keep stuff like that ready, and I'll use that when I get into my roller. Okay? And you know, when I first start painting, I could put some paint in this and just dip and go out of here. Or I might use this. And see, this is how you hang on to this. You don't hold it like that. If you try to hold this like this and use it as a paint bucket all day long, let me tell you, your wrist is gonna get all crinkly. You'll know what I mean if you do it. But see, you don't hold this like that. You put your hand up here like that. Okay? I'm right-handed, so I'd put it on my left hand like that. See? Oh, I could go all day long doing paint touch up that way. And I'm not gonna fill it too full. I may only fill it that much. Okay? And then I can stand up there. I can stand up there and just dip and go, dip and go. I don't have to bend down, you know, down here. Or if I had a paint bucket. I don't even have a paint bucket here. What do I have? I've got some little things like this. You can use this for your painting. You know, just hold that, dip and go, dip and go. Especially with the door frames or baseboard, I'm just going to put a little bit of paint in there for Momi, and that's it. She doesn't need to use a tray like that or a paint bucket of any sort. These will work fine for that. These are just order out takeout boxes. You know, that's all they are. But I'm going to use them for my paint. For my paint. You know, probably for inside the condo when I'm painting. But for out here, I'll probably just end up using that, and I might use that too. So that's all I got to say about that. It's time to get busy.